The wonder of earthworms. Bangladesh is blessed with plenty of rivers and acres of cultivable land. Most soils are fertile by nature, and farmers are able to grow 2 or 3 crops per year on the same field. To feed the growing population, farmers have increasingly used mineral fertilizer and pesticides. While production initially increased, the continuous overuse of chemicals has created a new problem. Many living creatures in the soil have died, and soil fertility has started to decline.
We used to buy mineral fertilizer that we applied again and again. The fertilizer was expensive and caused us more diseases and problems for the crops, and it caused our crops to die.
In the coastal areas, farmers and fishermen grow vegetables on poor, sandy soils. These soils are often affected by salt from the sea, and it's hard to find living organisms in the soil. As a result, it's becoming more difficult to grow good yields of cereal crops and vegetables. As farmers in this area have little livestock and manure is scarce, they need an alternative to traditional compost. In this video, we'll learn about compost made by worms. We'll first take a closer look at what worms do, and then see how farmers in one part of southern Bangladesh make compost with worms. This process can be carried out just about anywhere. Earthworms can eat cow dung, vegetation and soil, and their droppings become compost. In their search for food, earthworms make tunnels in the soil. This helps water soak more easily into the soil. As a result, less water will flow over the surface, removing fertile topsoil. So in a soil with worms, more moisture is available for your crop. The tunnels also allow plant roots to reach deeper into the soil more easily and absorb more nutrients.
I'm having
a number of benefits from using worm compost. My crop yields have increased. The compost I'm making is keeping my crops healthy. I'm getting more yields and selling the produce in the market. My family is now even healthier from eating fresh vegetables. By using compost, our costs have decreased because the diseases of my vegetables have decreased.
Worms bring up nutrients from deep in the soil and deposit them on the soil surface as small heaps of earth, making nutrients more easily available to your crop. Now we know what worms do, but what are the benefits of using worms in compost? Many farmers make compost in a soil pit, and they do not add worms, so it takes a long time before the compost is ready.
It takes about 3 months to prepare traditional compost made with cow dung. Worm compost takes only about 28 to 30 days, and it makes your land fertile. The vegetables are healthier and it is very easy to prepare.
So when you put earthworms in the worm compost pit, the compost is ready within 3 to 4 weeks, much faster than with traditional compost pits. Compost from worms is cheap and can be made by anyone.
ভার্মি কম্পোস্ট থেকে আমরা রাসায়নিক সারের
I'm getting more benefits when using worm compost than from using chemical fertilizer. It helps to make the land fertile, increase the crop yield, and helps to control insects. And it keeps our family healthy. That's why we're using this compost.
Having seen the advantages, let us now learn about this fast and easy way to make earthworm compost. You need some worms to start with. You can collect or buy worms from either local farmers who are making worm compost, NGOs, or from people who are commercially producing worms. This is called vermiculture. Ask if you can have some worms to add to your own compost. Some groups have started producing worm compost on a large scale and have made a business from selling both compost and worms. So what do we need to make worm compost? Practical research has shown it's best to use a concrete sewer ring, sand, broken brick, loose soil, pieces of root of a banana tree, 2-week-old cow dung, 100 grams, that's 1 handful, of earthworms, and 2 pieces of good polythene. As worms do not like direct sunlight, and you don't want the nutrients in your compost to be drowned by the rain, make your compost pit under shade to protect it from sun and rain. So first, decide where you'll place the concrete sewer ring for making the compost pit. Place the ring in position and draw a circle around it. Put the ring aside and dig down 8 fingers deep. Then place the ring inside the circle. Adjust the circle so that the ring will fit tightly inside. Flatten the soil. Position the polythene inside the circle, then place the concrete ring on top. Polythene protects the compost from becoming too wet, which can spoil the compost and may cause the worms to die. Now put 1 basket of sand in the bottom of the ring. Spread it around. Then 1 basket of broken brick to a depth of 4 fingers thick. Spread the brick evenly. The sand and bricks keep the compost from leaking nutrients and the worms from escaping, and also help to absorb any excess moisture. Next, put 1 basket of loose soil inside the ring. Again, spread this. Put a basket of cut pieces of banana root inside the ring. Do not have the pieces too large, or it will take longer for the worms to eat. Spread this evenly. Now put a basket of cow dung in the ring. Spread it and pat it down. Repeat the last 2 layers over again. Soil, banana tree root and cow dung provide food for the worms to grow faster. Your compost is now ready for the worms. Dig a small hole in the middle of the top layer. Put 1 handful of earthworms inside. Cover them with some cow dung. Sprinkle enough water over the surface to wet it, and make sure the compost is moist, or else the worms may die. Now cover the ring with polythene to keep in the moisture and provide darkness for the worms. Tie it tightly. Check the compost every few days. If needed, sprinkle some water once or twice a week. The compost will be ready to use in about 3 to 4 weeks. Carefully dig the compost out of the concrete ring so that you do not disturb the sand and brick. You can use these 2 layers for the next batch of worm compost. You'll get 15 to 20 kilograms of compost from each ring, and about 3 times the number of earthworms you started with. These worms you can sell to other farmers or use for more compost making.
After using the compost and worms on my land, I sell the surplus to others. I tell the other farmers about how to do this when I sell it to them.
When you remove the worms from the concrete ring, the eggs of the earthworms will stay in the compost. They'll hatch in your field, and the worms will make more nutrients available in your soil. The compost can be preserved in a jute bag or earthen pot until needed. At the time of land preparation, farmers can incorporate this compost into the soil. So, what have we learnt? Compost helps to grow a better crop and allows vegetables to be grown on poor and salt-affected soils. By adding worms, you can make compost much faster. You can sell the compost and the worms to other farmers. Making compost with worms is easy, cheap, and can be done in a short time. It improves incomes of rural people, not only for the farmers who produce the compost, but also for those who use it.